Get a Job in Tech, episode 158. If you can see this, perfect. Now, obviously, you can't if you're listening to the podcast. So, first of all, thank you very much for listening to the podcast. Really appreciate it. Secondly, if you're watching this, because I'm going to put this on video as well. And so I'm ranked number 64th. I'm not, my podcast is, whatever. And in Ireland, of all places, Ireland careers. And then number 214th in Turkey careers, number 49th in Tunisia careers. And so I was thinking, like, what if I had an angle for Ireland, right? Or Turkey or Tunisia? What would what's the advice for getting a job in those three countries? So your best bet is most likely going to have to be getting a job in Tunis. That seems to where the infrastructure is more so, if possible, and the outskirts are farmland and mountainous region. I would say Tunis is where you want to go. Tunis is the state. You know that. I don't tell you where you live or where you want to work at. Everybody probably wants to get there. So if you can get a work from home job in, say, let's see, where would it be? So your specialty, so really your skill set, how you're different than other people is that you can speak other languages. Obviously, I think you can speak Arabic, I think, is the area here. And if you can speak, Arabic, then you have an option to support, say, the Gulf, because the Gulf has has resources. So if you can support the Gulf region, that's one thing I would go after. Maybe like an IT, like work from home or something like that, I would say. And the other option you have is you can work from home for any company in the world, considering they'll, allow you to do that. So I would say have a skill set. So more importantly, right? So start off with help desk. If you're in the IT industry, start off with help desk, obviously. And, watch some of my videos. If you don't know anything about, if you have access to the computer, of course, and you have access to the internet and you can do all that stuff, and you're new, but you want to learn what is IT and you don't want to pay for servers and all that stuff. So you can learn AWS, Amazon Web Services. So the very best way to do that, is I go to the Commvault 11 beginner course that I have in Udemy. Just type under Commvault, just type the word Commvault 11 beginner course, and you'll see that my course is here. And so the good thing about this course is in the introduction video, building a lab environment. So I have a preview, which you can easily, watch, which is create your own lab environment using Amazon AWS. So the benefit this is going to give you is going to give you exposure to Amazon AWS. So the idea here is to go to this course, pay for it or not, whatever you want to do, watch the video, put in your resume that you have a basic understanding of Amazon Web Services. I'd start there. That's the first thing. The second thing is gear your resume toward each job, and gear your resume towards like a Gulf country, maybe such as UAE, a city like Dubai. That's your best bet, probably most likely, because A, you speak the language, and B, you have something they want. You have a skill set. Even if you don't yet are expert in IT, doesn't matter. Just having some knowledge about it, and then just apply. And then what you're after is getting that the more interviews you go on. So gear more towards in your first step, when you apply first, bayt.com, bayt.com. is the site that a lot of the Gulf countries use. So when I say Gulf countries, what I mean is this. More in particular, I mean Qatar, I mean Bahrain, I mean Dubai or UAE. Those are the three countries I'd focus on because they always need people. They always need workers. They always need someone who speaks their language, basically Arabic. Even if you don't speak Gulf Arabic, it's pretty much similar. But I would focus on applying to any job in Bahrain, Qatar, how you want to say it, and then especially in UAE. Maybe Abu Dhabi and Dubai. I would stay away from like Sharjah because that's more of a traditional city, or Sharjah at Sharjah or whatever. Anyway, I'd stay away from Sharjah. I'd focus more on Abu Dhabi and Dubai. Dubai being the one I would focus the most time on because they have more resources. They're up, obviously they're the New York of the Middle East, basically. So if you get there and get a nice job, basically Dawam, whatever they call it, get a nice job, you get a nice career going, and then just building your resume, building that skill set, keep building and building and building on that skill set. I would say so a little differently, right? So the advice for those people in Tunisia is a little different than what I was saying Turkey. So Turkey, the benefit Turkey has is Turkey can go to the EU. That's the benefit they have. Now, I'm not exactly sure how the visa process works, but I know that they can visit the EU, so they're open to a lot of these different countries. And so, like, it can go to Italy, France, Paris, Germany. The only downside is the language barrier. So if they go to Germany, they really have to speak German. You have to really know how to speak German. And so if you can speak English, then you're going to benefit from other countries, such as France, even though, mostly you got to speak French, but they do speak English as well there, and Netherlands and Italy. And although Italy's more of a resort area, I would say. So most likely you're going to be in a resort area. The IT industry, where I've heard, the IT industry is in Germany. There's a little bit in Serbia. They have some IT. Where's Serbia? Some IT there in Serbia. They have in Austria. There's a little bit of Austria in there. Switzerland. Denmark has a little bit. Of course, you got to speak the language there. And then, of course, the UK. UK is probably now the difference being I don't think people from Turkey can go to UK. I don't know if that's the visa thing still in effect. But if you can, go for it. Get a job there. Same thing. I would say same advice as before. And meaning you go on, if you don't know IT, go to my course. Go to my course on Commvault 11 beginner course and learn AWS. So it's here. I teach you how to do it right here. You don't have to pay for it. You just click on it. It's a preview, 19 minutes long. Click it, learn it, understand it, and really, have a good time with it. And then just, rinse and repeat. You have knowledge, you have a skill set in Amazon AWS, and just same thing. Apply in any EU country. Just apply them all. There's 30 countries or something like that. Apply everywhere. And anything that says Amazon Web Services, apply to it. Because you might get a good the point is you want to go to many interviews as possible so you can have an idea of what don't I know? What skill set do I need so that I could get those skills. So you might go and you might interview for a company and they say, well, we're really looking for somebody who knows Active Directory, for instance, right? And you say, okay, well, all right. You make a note of that. You write it down. What's Active Directory? Okay, let me figure that out. Boom, done. Okay, good. And you learn Active Directory. Now, it just so happens that I teach that as well. I teach another course called Learn Backup and Restore with Commvault and Get a High-Paying Job. Now, this course is focused around Commvault. That's the niche right there. That's your niching down. So in this course, of course, I teach you learn Windows Server, Linux, Oracle, Commvault, VMware, Amazon, AWS, and get a high-paying IT job. This applies to anywhere in the world. Doesn't matter where you live, whatever country you're at. Now, high-paying IT job is, of course, could be anywhere. It doesn't necessarily have to mean a six-figure job. It just means a high-paying. So, for instance, you make in your currency, you make 20,000 a year, 30,000 a year, whatever, and you're able to make 60,000 a year in your currency. Well, that's a high-paying job to you because you went from 30 to 60. Essentially, you've doubled your your wages. Now back to the other one, which is Ireland. So Ireland, it depends on where you're from in Ireland. I'll be honest with you. Your accent is what's going to hold you back a little bit, right? If you're in Ireland and you have an accent, like a heavy accent, that's going to hinder you a bit. Okay, so just like in the UK, for those of you who don't know about the UK, so you have people called the Northerners, right? The Northerners, okay, and then you have not the Southerners, but the Northerners. So in the UK, they speak Cockney. It's like slang. It's like how do I describe it? It's like it's like a slang way of talking, right? And it's very slang type of ways. How do I describe talking about? It's like, oh, I don't really know how to say it. I can't think of any words to say on the top of my head, but it's just a different way to talk slang wise, right? So that's the UK. That's what they call them, Northerners, right? So basically northern north of Northerners, right, in the UK. In United Kingdom, if you will. Now, Ireland, they have an accent, a little bit, right? Obviously, but how thick is your accent, right? How thick is your accent? If your accent's really thick and it's really hard to understand, and the best way to do this is to go and interview. And okay, so how do you know if your accent's really thick, right? Here we go. You go on interviews. You go to interview for companies in the U.S. It doesn't matter if you have a visa from Ireland to the U.S. Doesn't matter. You go on interviews for companies in the U.S. Now, how do you do that? Of course, you have a skill set. If you don't have a skill set, same thing here. Go to my course, beginner course. And if you don't want to pay, just go down here and create your own lab using Amazon AWS. And you go in interviews. Now, put your resume out there. Now, if you're going for a job in the U.S., put your resume as like your name, your name, your phone number. If you want like an American phone number, just go to like Google Talk and get an American number, and then put your email. That's it. Now, of course, it shouldn't have like a .ia or whatever. It should be like .com. Your email. If you don't have one, just go sign up for Google. Do professional email, first name last name, first name last name, whatever it is, last name first name, whatever at gmail.com, and you go in as many interviews as possible in the U.S., let's say, or anywhere for that matter. But the reason you want to go in the U.S. is because you want to know if your accent's pretty thick. You want to know, okay, how really thick is my accent? Because in the U.S., it's if you're conscious about your accent, self-conscious about your accent, then just go on to interview for anybody in the U.S. Just go in there on the phone, WebEx, whatever. And then you'll know, okay, I need to tone it down, or I need to adjust my accent, or learn to talk without an accent, basically, or just tone it down a little bit. Now, for some weird reason I can't understand, Ireland accent is different than the UK accent. The British accent's different. So for some reason, now if you can fake a British accent, then you're better off. And when you fake a British accent, you just slowly talk. Like if you're talking 100 miles an hour, just talk slower. That way, it comes off as you're smarter or something. I don't know what it is. It's like you've seen in TV shows, right, where they have there's like a British person over talking, or if you've even seen, I'll just use the reference I talked before with Turkey and Tunisia. So you've seen some advertisements, whatever you call it, in like say Dubai, right? And in Dubai, what is it? it's a British person talking. It's a British woman. It's a British man talking. So if you can curtail that that accent, in a British accent, then you have a chance at either Dubai or the U.S. for that matter. Yeah, so that's how it works. I actually met a person on a meeting, and he is from South Africa, and he has a very similar. What is his? Oh, I thought he was from New Zealand because when he talked, it sounded like he had a very had a New Zealand accent, but he didn't. He's from South Africa. Anyway, so this is the what I would do, and to reference back to what I was talking about earlier was just a shout out, a thank you, basically a grateful thank you to the country of Ireland out there. Ireland, all of Ireland, thank you very much, because I'm on their list of top podcasts. And I'm on the list. Ireland, here we go. I'll show you. Number 64. Yay, all right. Go me. Yay, team. Number 64. And Turkey, shout out to Turkey. I'm number 214 in Turkey. And then Tunisia, I'm on number 49. Shout out Tunisia for that. And number 49 right there. Tunisia, appreciate it. And yeah, okay. Well, thanks a lot for listening to this. And you have yourself a great day. Remember, get a job in tech. That's the way to do it.